It's another time with the Enthusiastic Tutor, and in today's tutorial, it's going to be a new course. We're taking a new course entirely, ENG 331, and it's basically all about semantics, the history, how it came about, the usage and everything about semantics. Okay, I think we are about 10 minutes late already, so sorry about that. Monday, just been able to do the timetable before I can do the notes and everything. So sorry about that. So without further ado, let's just go straight into it. I believe we all can see clearly what we have here. ENG 331. I believe you can see this clearly. Let me see it from my end. It's clear enough. Okay, yeah, I think it's clear enough. So ENG 331 is what we're taking. So just like I said, the course is about semantics, and what are we talking about? What we talk about semantic, how does it affect language? All this we are going to be talking about in tonight's class. Now, indeed, there is no communication without the sharing of meaning. Indeed, there is no communication without the sharing of meaning. Now, this is simply talking about the fact that there won't be need for us to communicate. When we talk about communication, there's usually a sender of the message, there's a receiver, and there's also a message communication here. There's a sender, there's a receiver, and there's a message. So those three things in communication, if there was no meaning involved, meaning that with a receiver, the sender, and even the message, if it's carrying no importance, if it means nothing, then indeed there is no communication. And you can only say communication is successful if the medium chosen to pass or to enhance this communication is right, and the message sent was decoded by the receiver, and it does fulfill the message at which the reason behind the message being sent at first, then communication has taken place. Without that, there is no communication. Now, semantics simply implies the study of how meaning in language is produced and created. The how of meaning in language. Meaning, or let me put it this way, the creation of meaning. Get my duster. The how of the creation of the creation and the creation and procedure. The creation and procedure of meaning. Semantic can be defined. Okay, I think I should even put this here before this ENG. Semantic, ENG 331. We have semantic. Now, it is said to be the how of the creation and procedure involved in the meaning of language. Let me just, I'm trying to creation and procedure involved in the meaning of language. So we have that as that. Indeed, there is no communication without the sharing of meaning. Now, semantic is the creation and procedure involved in the meaning of language. And we can also refer to it as the study of how the meaning a language is produced and created. The study of how the meaning in language is being created. The study of how the meaning in language is being created. Now we have that as that. Now, semantics encompasses. When we say encompasses, what do we mean? It engulfs, it covers, it encompasses how words, phrases, and sentences come together to make a meaningful language. This is a comprehensive definition. Encompasses how encompasses. It encompasses. Semantic encompasses how words, phrase, and sentences come together to make meaning. Come together to make meanings in language. So here is another definition of semantics. It encompasses, meaning that in it you can find how words, phrases, and sentences are being, how they come together to make meaning in language. Semantics is held responsible for this. It is that study. That is what semantics is all about. That is what it studies. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Semantic simply means, just a moment. I think there is a power has been restored now. Okay, just a moment. So let's just continue. I think the dog has stopped barking now. We can just open the window, see if anything ever happened. Okay, so it encompasses, semantics encompasses the how. I believe we can see the board. Encompasses the how the process, the procedure that words go through, phrases and sentences coming together to make meaning in language. Let's not forget, this keeps coming up. Let's not forget, as you can see here, we have meaning, we have meaning, we have meaning, and we also have so it's all about the meaning everywhere. That is what it's particular about. Okay, now it is sometimes referred to as the means to the study of meaning. It simply means the study of meanings. It simply means the study of meanings. That's what semantics is all about. Now we have that as that. I believe we understand it to this level. Miss Celine, are you there? Okay, so we have that as that. Let's proceed. Now, let's proceed. Semantic is the area of linguistics that deals with the meaning of words or the meaning attached to words or symbols. Still on semantics, elaborating semantics, it has to do the area of linguistic dealing with what is it dealing with? It deals with the meaning of words or the meaning attached to words or symbols. Or the meaning attached to words or phrases. Attached to words and phrases. Okay. It is the area of linguistics dealing with the meaning of words. It is particular, it focuses on the meaning of words or the meaning attached to the word or phrases. So we have that as that. So let's proceed. Okay. Now, I think let me write this out clearly. The area of linguistic dealing, or let me use that specializes, that specializes, that specializes. So we have the area of linguistic that specializes on the meaning of words. Okay, the meaning of words and or the meaning attached, or the meaning attached, the meaning attached to the words or symbols, or symbols. So we have that is that. Now let's proceed. Okay, so we have semantics simply means, we've spoken about that, the study of meanings. So sorry, I apologize for the interference just that happened just a moment ago. It was a call, but I think that's not gonna happen again. So still on semantics, and we've been talking about what semantics is all about, the meaning, the study to the meaning of words, and the phrases attached to the word, the meaning to it, and we have all that as that. Now this view of semantics, studying the meaning of words, places semantic at the core communication in language. The view of semantic being the area of linguistic that centers on meaning of words, places semantic at the core. It places semantic at the core of communication, at the core of communication in language. All right. You can be asked, this might be one of the compulsory questions they can make in your very first set of 2 questions, to talk about what semantics is all about in nothing less than 100 words. So, we have been dwelling on this for over 5 minutes now. So you don't want to take your chances. So it's better you just, go through all these things. We have semantic being the area of linguistics that specializes on the meaning of words, or the meaning attached to the words or symbols. It also places this view now places it at the core of communication in language. Now, semantic as a term was first formally used in Braille in 1897. Semantic first formally used in Braille. I think I should take that with another sheet of marker. Braille. That's the name in 1897. It was formally used in Braille in 1897. The first attempt to study the meaning of now let me take this out. Now we have the first attempts to study the meaning by philosophers. The first attempt to study the meaning of semantic semantic by philosophers brought about the area of semantic called philosophical. The first attempt by philosophers to study semantic brought what we call philosophical semantic. All right. Now, philosophical semantic came out, evolved, protruded out of the first attempt by set of philosophers to look into the etymology, the genesis of the word semantic. Then it came about philosophical semantic. So we have that as that. Now, and speaking of which, philosophical semantic examines the relationship between linguistic expression, examines the relationship between linguistic expression, and phenomena. The phenomena which is referred to as the external world. Linguistic expression and the phenomena referred to as the outside world. So we have that as that. Now, linguistic semantic emphasizes the properties of natural languages. Can we take that again? Linguistic semantic emphasizes, it lays emphasis, the properties of natural languages. Emphasizes the properties of natural, languages. And we also have what is called pure or logical. We have pure, or what we call logical semantic. Just like we have the philosophical semantic, and here we have the logical semantic, and it speaks about the study of the meaning of expression using logical system or calculus. using a logical system or calculus. Now we have the study of the meaning the study of the meaning of expressions using systematic using systematic, and or the logical systematic, let me put it this way, using logical system or calculus, and that is that for pure or logical, and that is that for pure or logical semantic. Now, just before we call it a wrap for today, let's quickly look into the brief history of semantics. Just a very brief history of semantic. Now, let's pay attention to this name. Alfred Korzybski. Alfred Korzybski. Please, let's pay attention to this name. Now, no other person than Alfred who was credited with being the first to make an attempt on the study of semantic as a distinct discipline. First attempt to study semantic as a distinct discipline. Alfred Korzybski. Pardon me if I'm not pronouncing the name well. But what matters right now is what he had done. The very first person to attempt to study semantic as a distinct discipline. Now, it separates semantic from the discipline of philosophy. Is separated semantic from the discipline of philosophy. Exactly. So we have that for that. Incidentally, Alfred was a non-linguist, or maybe we should have said it this way. Speaking of the brief history now of semantic, maybe the first thing we should have started, if you attempt a question like this, the first thing that should strike, that should ring a bell, the first thing that might have ringed a bell is to have started this with Alfred Korzybski being a non-linguist. That means he's not even a major of linguistic. He's not even a major. Being a non-linguist categorically attempted to study semantic as a distinct discipline, separating it from the discipline of philosophy. Are we together? Separating it from the discipline of philosophy. That's a lot for a non-linguist. All right. So let's take that down. Incidentally, let me use AK. It is Alfred Kopsky. AK, incidentally, AK happens not to be a linguist, meaning he is a non-linguist. Are we together? Meaning that AK, Alfred Kopsky, is not a linguist. So we have that as that. And let's proceed. All right. Now, he was passionate. What took him this far? What made him took upon himself, if I may say, this attempt? Now, he was said to be passionate about introducing a general acceptable science of communication. He was passionate, he was determined, he was self-made, he was self-motivated, he was everything you could say to see the introduction, to see through, to ensure that there is this generally acceptable science of communication. He was passionate. I am going into details. Basically, I'm doing all this detailing. Basically, this is 300 level. You have to do a lot of writing. It's pen on paper exam, no objectives. So before you can get your good grade, you have to do a lot of writings. And you don't just write jargons, you write what makes sense. So now, using your own words, these are mine, using your own words, just get the concept, then you can always develop your point. He was passionate about what? Why? What is he passionate about? He was passionate about introducing a generally acceptable generally acceptable science of communication. Yes. So the history of semantic, as you can see, is has been, has expressed a lot of occurrences. Having a non-linguist being passionate about seeing the introduction of a generally acceptable science of communication, you can tell that it's quite a thing. Now let's proceed. Now, AK started by describing all entities, all entities, realities by assigning labels to them. Now, he assigned labels to realities. He was able to describe all entities by attaching what? Labels to them. Okay. Now he went further to group names into three. Okay, so we have objects such as chair, inanimate things, objects such as stone, chair, and so on. He also labels for groups and collections. Groups and collections, and we have that as animal, people, and so on. Now let's take this down. Now, speaking about describing reality and labeling them, he divided it into three, which we have the first stage as the object, where we have the inanimate things. The object, where we have the inanimate things. We also have, objects. Let me put that down. One, objects for one. Two, we have groups and collection. And three, we have okay. Now the third one, which might be the last. So we have just a moment. I think my notes here is kind of mixed up. Okay. And he labeled abstracts. Okay. Now he named the third one as abstract, in the sense that highly abstract and do not readily lead themselves into assignments created by reality. So basically, everything was subjected under three things: objects, groups and collection, and abstract of reality. When we talk about abstract now, things that basically are independent of their occurrences. So that was how I grouped everything into three. And so I think we can call it a wrap here. Okay. All right. Now, okay, let's proceed. So basically, we can call it a wrap here. I believe we've been able to take it in or two. We've spoken about the history, the brief history of semantic, which is tentative, and in a subsequent class we'll definitely go through it and go further. We're able to give several definitions of semantic, what it's all about. You know, we've also spoken about the pure logical semantic and philosophical semantic. All this we've spoken about, and I think it's we can call it a wrap. We can draw the curtain on for this course tonight here. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for time, and I look forward to seeing you in subsequent tutorial this evening. About 3 more classes to go. Thank you very much, and see you around.